Most home builders don't have a marketing problem. They actually have a budgeting problem. They either spend too much or they spend too little, and they don't actually have any reasoning behind what dollars they're spending. Or you just spend money without a plan, and if you don't have a plan and you're spending the money, you can almost guarantee that you're going to waste your money. Today I want to show you exactly how home builders should think about their marketing budget to get to the goals that they want to achieve, so that your marketing can become predictable and not just a randomized plan that's like hitting the slot machines. You need predictability. That's the only way you're going to scale to 10 or 20 builds a year. See, marketing for a home building company is way different than marketing for anything else in the marketplace, because the sales cycle is so much longer than almost everything else in the marketplace. You're not selling a $50 project that people can just swipe their Visa on. You're selling a $500,000 to a $2 million, $5 million house that people are going to live in. Which means that you're not selling anything, you're actually advertising to build trust in the marketplace, and you build enough trust with the people looking to build that you become the people that they choose because you've been helpful and you've stayed interested in working with the clients, right? It all comes down to having an amazing system. It's not just one thing that you need a great system. And see, this is the biggest problem for home builders with their marketing, is they view marketing as an expense, when marketing is, in a way, it is an expense, but it's actually, if you change the way you look at it, you will be 10 times more successful. If you spend money on your marketing, it's the fuel to growing your company. Like, put it this way, if you have to spend $10,000 to go and close a $1 million deal, a $1 million build, but you're holding a 20% margin on that, that's 200 grand of profit. Would you be willing to spend $10,000 to go and collect 200 grand of profit? Of course you would. And that's the way you need to think about your marketing. It's not an expense. You need to break down the numbers so that you can reverse engineer how many leads you need, how many appointments you need, how many people do you need? How many people do you need to meet with to close the amount of deals that you want to build? That's the real question. Your marketing budget should really only be tied to 3 things: your revenue goals, your capacity as a company, and your cash flow. How much can you actually afford to grow right now? See, and when you think about your marketing budget, you should think about how much revenue do you want to achieve and how many projects is it going to take you to achieve that revenue. So you don't even want to think about Facebook, Google, or SEO. The first thing that you want to think about is, what is your actual target? Do you want to build 10 homes? Do you want to build 5 homes? And how much revenue do you want that to make up for you? See, and now you have to work backwards from your numbers. So if you want to sign 10 projects you want to work backwards from your numbers. If your average project is 500,000 and you want to achieve 10 builds, well, that's 5 million in revenue. Now that's where you work backwards. How many consultations do you need to actually hit that target? See, you might need to have 5 consultations for every 1 deal that you actually close. Or it could be more. It could be 10 consultations to 1 build. See, and once you can define what those numbers are, now you can become very successful, because now it's not about how much money should you spend, it's about how much money do you need to put into the system to achieve the outcome. And look, at the end of the day, consistency matters more than the spend. So you need to know your numbers and backtrack your numbers so that you know how much spend to achieve how many builds you want. But then the best thing that you can do is spend all year round. Because look, the buying cycle of home building is longer, and so let's just say you have $12,000 to spend online on ads. Don't spend $12,000 in 1 month and think that's going to do it. Spend $1,000 every single month. Spread your budget out so that the people who are interested in building can be retargeted throughout the year. You want to stay in front of the people who actually want to build. You want to stay in front of them, and you want them to see your ad 8 to 50 times, because that's what it's going to take in 2026 to close them as your client. So that's the biggest thing that you need to know, is that you just need to reverse engineer your numbers and stop viewing your marketing budget as an expense. It's actually the fuel to your growth. Let's go.